Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for 6 things that we learned from Chelsea 2, West Ham United 1. It is another successful score prediction from GBFC in the match preview. And today, we saw something a little bit different from Chelsea. We saw us dig in. We saw us turn a game that we were playing very, very badly in. It was one of the most, could have fallen asleep games of football from Chelsea that we've seen all season, but we did it. We turned the game on its head and we managed to come back and win. If you aren't yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, make sure you do so. And please, whilst you're here, this is a big 3 points that sees us back in the top 4. Can we see if we can get 5,000 likes on this YouTube video today? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below as always. 6 things we learned, the series where we break down the good, the bad, the ugly, the could be improved, and the quite magnificent. But today, I think what is more important than anything else is the sigh of relief that we experienced at half-time. It's obviously transfer deadline day as well, and there was so much going on before the match. Chelsea confirmed the signing of Matisse Amugu, another child from France. We have signed a midfielder, but he's probably no much better than Leslie Ugochukwu if you do the stats breakdown, which we did in the preview. Chukwuemeka's gone on loan. Chili's gone on loan. Felix has gone out on loan. Mark Guiu today comes on for Nicholas Jackson. We don't sign a striker. It is what it is, unless something happens after I've recorded this video. As for the match itself, I'm not going to lie to you. There isn't really much to talk about in the first half. Chelsea were struggling to create opportunities. We were very, very pedestrian with the build-up. We spent so much time getting the ball to Reece James and then crossing the ball in the box, but there wasn't a box presence out there today. Nicholas Jackson, I think there was one moment in the whole game where I can praise Jackson for a lovely little outside of the boot pass to Noni. Noni gets a decent shot away. It goes just wide of the post. But Chelsea weren't really creating anything. And then towards the end of that first half, there is an absolute calamitous error from Levi Colwill. Not for the first time as well, by the way. There was a moment where Colwill was very fortunate that Mohamed Kudus went in with him a little bit too strong. And then we could have seen Jared Bowen run in on goal because of a hospital pass from Colwill. We didn't see it. But he didn't learn from the proximity, the close proximity of that mistake, because Colwill then makes the error again. Jared Bowen, who is a tenacious player, today West Ham kind of had 9 men, and then Kudus and Bowen doing all the running. And to be fair to Graham Potter, that was working, because when Jared Bowen goes in on goal, tucks in the finish, don't really think Philip Jorgensen can do much about it, but Chelsea are 1-0 down. And considering how boring the match had been to watch, to then go 1-0 down, we're like, well, now we've got a serious problem. We've got our tails up with backs against the wall, and what are we going to do? How are Chelsea going to respond? At the end of the first half, Cole Palmer hits an absolutely delightful, it's an unbelievable free kick. It's almost as good as the one against Brighton, but Areola turns into flipping David De Gea. Do you remember when Juan Mata had that free kick late in the game? De Gea saved it in the top corner to stop Chelsea winning, I think. It was literally like that. Palmer does that, and it's a great save from Areola, and then he has a shot on target afterwards. But other than that, Chelsea, when we get the ball in the final third, it's just that final moment. It's that final pass or cross into the box before the ball actually gets into the box that is the problem. The shot over, wide. The finishing needs to improve. And as much as we've obviously gone on and won the game, that doesn't really change. We still need to get more clinical in front of goal. And I think we need to be very careful that we don't just constantly become this team again that is cross, cross, cross. Now, we've also got to say a massive credit here to Enzo Maresca, because as much as he might not have changed it at half-time, and I think Jackson could have been hooked at half-time, the man looks completely off it right now, and as long as Mark Guiu isn't injured, I think he should be starting. Or maybe Nkunku, but who knows about that one right now. But he makes the substitutions. We see Pedro Neto and Mark Guiu come on 51 minutes into the game. 6 minutes into the start of the second half, you can already see not really anything is changing. and Maresca makes the changes. From the moment that Pedro Neto came onto the pitch, he looked like a man today that had a point to prove. We did a poll in the GBFC watch-along, and I think Pedro Neto got man of the match in you guys' opinion. For those of you watching the stream and interacting with the stream, Neto was excellent. The work rate was there. And I think when you've got a player who is just like a rabid dog almost in a way, just barking and chomping at the heels of players, making sure that he gives everything to track back, win the balls back, looking to beat a man as well, this changed things for Chelsea. A few minutes later as well, James gets a yellow card, and then Gusto comes on for James, and Nkunku comes on for Noni. Nkunku didn't really do very much, but he spent a lot of that time over on that left-hand side, and then Chelsea started to use Malo Gusto getting forward, because James, we can see he can't really track back as quickly as before. Gusto, much more confident going forward, and that gives the West Ham players another player to worry about, so that Pedro Neto in the final third can be that final man to get the crosses in and be a lot more direct. I don't think Noni had his best game either, but Pedro Neto gets the equaliser. There is a moment where you're like, no, it's offside, but it comes off of the head of Souček, I think, and then comes off Cucurella, ricochets around, but Pedro Neto made that brilliant cross in the first place, and then he's following it up. He's not just sitting there admiring the cross being like, oh, that was a decent ball, wasn't it? Shame no one's on the end of it. He follows it into the box and rifles the ball home. Chelsea are level. And then not too long after, about 12 minutes after Neto's equaliser, Cole Palmer gets into a shooting position, gets the shot away, hits Wan-Bissaka, deflected into the back of the net. I'm sorry, I'm giving it to Palmer. Wan-Bissaka don't want an own goal on his CV. Palmer wants the goal. We should just get rid of this. We know that Cole Palmer is going for it. Just give him the flipping goal. He might have been crossing. Wan-Bissaka doesn't want the own goal. It is what it is. 2-1 Chelsea. And then after that, we're seeing the fight. We're seeing the passion. We're seeing the determination to see the game out. And that we did. There's a moment in the game. I think Kudus had a header that came off the bar. I think it might have been 1-1 at that point. But West Ham didn't play bad. They had a game plan. Graham Potter came to try and frustrate Chelsea, use Kudus and Jared Bowen to hurt us on the counter with their pressing and relentless energy. They did that, but Chelsea today dug in and we found a way. Box number 1 of the 6 things we learned. I'm quite long into the video. We need to get going. It's a green for Enzo Fernandez. I thought Enzo today was everywhere. Not just arriving in the box. He had a shot in the first half that was dragged wide that actually should have been a corner, but it was given as a goal kick. I thought Enzo, the covering was big, and weirdly, he gets a yellow card, but I actually love it. Chelsea equalised and the intensity's high, and then Enzo Fernandez reminded us that this is a big London derby. West versus East. We get the job done. And Enzo Fernandez gets booked for it. But I think that was a moment, weirdly, after that first goal where all of a sudden we're all like, oh, we got a game to go and win now, have we? We've got something to get excited about. And I think Enzo Fernandez today epitomised the energy that Chelsea showed to get back in this one. I know that right now a lot of people are going to be upset with the transfer market. We're going to be upset that we've got rid of loads of players and seemingly not strengthened the squad. For Chelsea to go from being in a worse position at the end of a transfer window based on squad quality and depth is alarming. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. But for me, Enzo Fernandez was out there the whole time. I think he looks fit and healthy again now. He looks good. And he was absolutely everywhere. Coming in with tackles, blocks, interceptions. I thought he was excellent. Box number 2 is a green for Pedro Neto. His energy absolutely changed the game today for Chelsea. And as much as I thought Sancho was kind of unlucky to be bought off, to be honest. I thought Sancho was having a good game. It was just, he was struggling to beat Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka's a great 1v1 defender. And he was struggling to take him on. And I think what Chelsea were doing was the right-hand side was just Reece James crossing the ball in. Maresca saw that that wasn't working. So we were getting the ball to Sancho, but then the end product wasn't there. So I think as much as Sancho was playing quite well, I think Maresca today, it's a masterstroke. The timings of those substitutions. To bring Sancho off first for Neto, I think was the right move. Jackson coming off as well. Jackson is box number 3. This guy, like, to be honest, Mark Guiu, I'm so happy that he came on. He didn't do very much, but you've got to do that because Jackson, right now, isn't offering anything to this team. He spends more time picking himself up off the floor because he thinks he's ice skating and not playing a football match. I'm sorry, but that's another game without a goal for Jackson. That's 8 without a goal now. And I think he should be permanently dropped at this point. I think the form that he's been in and the fact that now it's like even the build-up play and the hold-up play is not really as good as it once was either. You've got to understand that if you're the footballer and the striker at Chelsea, you've got to be delivering. And he's not. Now we're going to have Christopher Nkunku for the rest of the season. Mark Guiu looked as though he had a little hamstring injury at the end of the game. Hopefully it's nothing serious. But I think it's time now for Maresca to back the fact that he made those changes in the second half. And lo and behold, after the subs, Chelsea get better. Nkunku wasn't brilliant, but Nkunku on the pitch, Guiu on the pitch, Neto on the pitch. This changed the game for us. Chelsea was so much better after those substitutions. Box number 4 is a green for Palmer. A lot of people have been saying that it was a bad January for Cole Palmer. I agree. Based on his standards, he's not been up to the standard and level that we've come to love, learn, and expect from him. But today, I thought he was good. That free kick, honestly, it was almost one of the goals of the season, but it's a brilliant save from Areola. The goal will be given to Wan-Bissaka as an own goal, but I think Palmer makes that happen himself. Too many times, Chelsea are like hovering on the edge of the area, looking for that little clip ball in, and then, of course, it's West Ham. They're going to head it away time and time again. Palmer takes the initiative, drives past his man, gets the shot/cross away, and it goes in. Sometimes you've got to make things happen for yourself. And we know that recently, if Palmer's not doing it, Chelsea aren't doing it. But again today, Palmer made the difference. Box number 5 is a green for Enzo Maresca. There was a lot of people watching the GBFC watch-along that when it was 1-0 at half-time, when it was half-time, people are saying Maresca out. We've had enough of this. We can't lose to West Ham. We can't be beaten by Graham Potter. And fair enough, at that point, we were being schooled. We were being schooled by West Ham and a previous manager that was nowhere near good enough for Chelsea. But Maresca today changed it himself. He didn't wait too long in the match. And I think what he did is he understands that he's not really been backed in this transfer window. We've not made the right signings. We've not made the right moves. But today, he said, right, you guys are in my squad. We're going to need you until the end of the season. And I'm not going to wait and watch the shit that we saw in the first half and not change it. So credit to Maresca because it worked. Neto's energy worked. Jackson being on the pitch, useless. Bring Guiu on. Give him a chance. Show him that he's staying at Chelsea and he's going to be given opportunities if the top striker right now, supposedly at the club, isn't able to do it. Credit to Maresca today. I thought he was brilliant, but box number 6 here of 6 things we learned. We have to give match-winning praise to Tosin Adarabioyo. But Tosin was absolutely superb at the end. That block is winning Chelsea 2 points. If that goes on target, I think it's a goal for West Ham. It is magnificent from Tosin. I was actually going to give a red for Colwill because I thought Colwill had a bad game today. But that one from Tosin at the end and how big of a 3 points this is, moving back into the Champions League top 4. Tosin, so much credit to him for that. Puts his body on the line, in the right place, right time, brilliant from him. And he's quickly, for me, a lot of good things to say about Tosin in the last few months, to be honest. I think he's done very well. Let me know your 6 things that you learned from Chelsea's 2-1 win in the comments down below. There is still an hour to go, or less than an hour at the time of me finishing this video of the transfer market. I don't think there's going to be much else going on. Let me just quickly check now before I finish this video, because Willian is going back to Fulham. He was in the stands today. Could have done with him at points in this game, but I don't think Chelsea is signing anyone else. Joao Felix is going to AC Milan. It is what it is. Don't agree with it personally, but let's see. We've won today. We're back in the top 4. Thank you guys for watching. Please do subscribe to GBFC if you are new. Smack a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Come on, you Blues. Big win.